Hello and welcome to my unboxing and first look at the Adeptus Sororitas Rhino. It's here, I have one. It's quite controversial because one of these will set you back a whopping, I hope you're sitting down, £35 for a Rhino. Okay, so I still think that having this in plastic is cheaper than if Forge World created some kind of set of resin parts for it. Only just though. To put it in perspective, I think when the Rhinos first were out, they were either £15 or £17 or so. They went up to 20. They're now £25 for a normal Chaos Rhino. But for a Space Marine Rhino, it's £27.50. A large amount indeed. Now for the Rhinos that Forge World make, one of those Demos pattern Rhinos is £42. Doors, just two side doors, are typically £11. So to get a normal Space Marine Rhino with different doors, like Demos pattern doors, that would then cost you £38.50, which is still more expensive than this kit. If you want the 41st Millennium Rhino doors, that's £15. So then you're looking at £42.50. So that's why I can clearly say that if Forge World did make like an upgrade sprue or some resin parts for your normal Space Marine Rhino to convert it into a Sisters of Battle Rhino, I'm confident to say that that would cost you even more than this kit. But of course, £35 for a Rhino is astronomical, and I can only imagine if they'd set this Rhino price at £30. They could take the hit of the £5, but more people would buy them. Instead of just buying one and then waiting quite a while and probably buying a second one, I think people would buy more than one, hands down. But as it is, pricing it at £35, there is a risk that people won't even buy one, or that will be put off by it. I know people will be put off by the £45 Immolator, especially when the Exorcist for that extra £5 gives you so much more. Anyway, enough about me ranting on. This is the Rhino. We're going to use more Seki City Japan to help us, and this is actually quite a nice size knife to be opening one of these boxes. Let's take off the plastic film and have a look at the reverse. So here it is. You've got three different heads, I think. You've got the Hunter Killer missile, you've got the Storm Bolter. I don't think you can have the Hunter Killer with the sister out. So what I might do is pop her out like she is there, with the helmet possibly, and put the Hunter Killer somewhere else, maybe, if that's even at all possible. It says including accessories. Yeah, for sort of £10 more, you know, you should really have all these accessories and more really. But it is taking the Rhino to the very limits of its life now, because this has been around, yeah, good 20 years or so, and they've just created this extra sprue. The one thing to know is, all intents and purposes, it does look like a normal Rhino, because it doesn't have the fancy exhaust braziers as the other vehicles, as the Immolator and the Exorcist. So already from an aesthetic point of view, it doesn't quite fit in as well. But you know, it's a bit of a shame. But here we go. Are you ready to go back in time? Oh yes. So this is the instruction guide. It's a brand new instruction guide that they've created. It looks like that hasn't changed, but then this is quite new here. So this is a new piece right here, showing the two doors in the front, and then this is all new right here. You've got a fair few options for the cupola and the Hunter Killer missile, and it does show the Hunter Killer with the sister on there, so, but yet it doesn't complete it, so that's interesting. I don't think you can pop her out, which could be a bit of a shame. Oh, and then you go straight into the rules for her. So yeah, got the Shield of Faith, so got that invulnerable save, and everything else works as normal. You can carry 10 Adeptus Ministorum infantry models, but no jump pack models. So works, you know, as it says on the tin. Let's have a look at these sprues. So this is it. So this is the 15 to 20 pound sprue that's been around for a long time. It says 2006, but it's been around longer than that, I'm sure. Yeah, you may have seen this sprue thousands of times, quite possibly, but you can see there's lots of gaps here. It's completely at odds with the Immolator sprue, for instance. I was hoping that we'd get the new Rhino sprue, I suppose, with this kit, but you don't, and that's a bit of a revelation for me. But looking at the picture of the Rhino on the box, you kind of expect that. So this is the difference. This is how far we've come, everyone. So what you've essentially got here, you've got on one sprue from the Immolator kit, and more actually, because you've got the Hunter Killer, you've got the exhausts, you've got the side doors, the front door, the rear ramp, you've got footholds, you've got the base, and you've got some of the tracks. So, you know, those two sprues, this sprue, I think they should have just included this sprue and worked out some kind of way of making it a new top for it or something like that. But yeah, you can see how far we've come on, and unfortunately this kit, for the price, it would have you believe that we've come on and we've got all brand new sprues in this kit, but no, that's not the case. You get two old sprues that are, my best guess is 20 years old, and then you've got the new sprue. So this is what you're paying sort of £10–15 for or so. This sprue right here, which has the brand new front of the Rhino. You've got different doors, which are, to give them credit, double-sided. You can choose them to be with the ladders. They are both the same though, reversed, so that they are duplicates. You've got the cupola, which doesn't have anything new on. This little thing does. That's got a little ecclesiarchy symbol on. You've got 1, 2, 3 heads, which is quite a nice addition. You've got some candles, you've got some adornments, little order symbols. The Stormbolt on the Rhino itself has a fleur-de-lis icon. You've got the top hatch, which although doesn't have anything there, it does have this lovely big fleur-de-lis icon. And you've got the Hunter Killer missile, which is going to be the same as the one from the Exorcist and the Immolator. I think the Immolator has one. And then you've got smoke launchers. You've got the Sisters of Battle popping up out of the hatch, and then you've got the smoke launchers, very nicely detailed. And you've got this awesome looking sword that's yeah, this blessed blade that you might want to put on the Rhino. You've got some scrolls, you've got a load of purity seals, many parts for this sprue, but you know, this is the main price of the kit, because these Rhino sprues have been around a long time. It would have been nice if they'd have used the Immolator or the Exorcist new Rhino chassis instead of just giving you an older kit and then putting a new sprue, but they obviously have their reasons for doing that. So there you go, that's all the new parts. That's the Rhino unboxed, and this is the transfer sheet, which you get in most of the Sisters of Battle boxes. So there you go, that's everything in this box set. Based on that, I think it is a very expensive transport. Of course, it's not as expensive as the Impulsor, but then again, it's not as heavily armed, or it's not as fast. At the end of the day, it is a Rhino. It should be cheap. You know, it should be the cheapest transport that you can get for your sisters. Join me in the upcoming review, where I will have built it, and I'll give you my final impression, and to tell you whether it's just worth that 35, or whether you should convert a much cheaper version with all the spare parts that you get from the Sisters of Battle kits actually. What do you guys think? Put it in the comments below. Be great to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.